Equip us now for the work ahead as we follow you. This is your house. Oh, this is your house.
I have no idea what you're talking about. The fire boy.
Guys, so I think we're live now.
We are live. What's up, CCB Youth? Welcome to the House Podcast. Or hey, maybe you're not a CCB Youth. You're just a random listener. I just bumped my gizzard here and had a nice little roll in my throat there.
What's the gizzard?
It's also known as the Adam's apple.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's actually true or not, but that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thanks for joining us today. As you can see, we are super excited. We have a new guest on the pod.
Hello.
This is our dear friend. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Jonathan Alvarez, but you can all call me John because I
We
like
all-
it that way.
John.
Because he likes it that way. I'm about it. Next to John, we have the co-host, Chiefy, and I am Caleb. As always, thanks for tuning in and watching. Hey, this is episode 21. If you're still here, we're eternally grateful because our viewership has steadily declined, as we were seeing the other day. But, here and there, every now and then, we have a banger. And I have a feeling today's episode is very much going to be one. We are going to be looking at Christianity from a Gen Z perspective. That's kind of the topic for the day with our dear friend, our local Gen Z representative, Jon Alvarez.
I don't speak for everyone, okay?
Yeah, just you. Well,
Just warn you in
today,
advance, but-
yeah, today you're speaking for everybody. So looking forward to hearing your thoughts. John, before we get into the theological conversation, something common that we do on this podcast is we ask our guests, tell us something about you that not many people know.
There's a lot of things.
I'm going to just angle this a little bit.
Honestly, I think there's a lot of stuff about me that people don't know about, but and there's not a lot of stuff I come out with right off the top of my head because I do tell people a lot about me, but I do have. I'm just gonna say something completely random, like just something random, something insignificant.
All right.
It's not important, but I have thousands of dollars worth of Legos just randomly stuffed into my toy box.
Nice.
It's probably
Yeah.
thousands. I don't even know how much. It's probably just like it probably
Dude.
could just be worth like $100. I don't even know. It's just so much Legos.
Oh,
that
dude.
I need to clean up my house, bro.
Hey, if you ever decide you're going to get rid of it, let me know.
Oh no.
Okay, okay. I don't mean that.
No, that's going to my attic if I ever decide to go with it. No, I ain't giving it away. It holds too much memories, bro.
Memories. I love that. John, I recently started following this account on YouTube where this guy buys character lots, like people sell on, eBay and stuff, like different lots of like little Star Wars minifigure like characters. He'll buy it for like $100, but then he sells the individual like minifigures for like way more than they're worth. So I know you have a YouTube channel. Maybe one day you'll move into the Lego minifigure selling business
I
and make
doubt
lots
it.
of money.
I
You're
mean-
right. You're just gonna keep them, huh?
Denied. Request denied. Move on.
Also, like whenever they raise prices that high, I mean, it's business, but like, is it really ethical?
Oh, okay. All right. I respect you. Yeah, I think it's more like for the collectors and, things like that. But I hear you. All right. Well, that's pretty cool. So none of these are assembled, right? These aren't like.
Oh no, some of them are assembled, but not
Oh,
all of
okay.
them is. Like sometimes your things are like half assembled, and like the other parts are just like scattered in the
Okay,
box or just
okay.
in bins or whatever. But some of them are assembled. I do
Are
have a few
most of
them.
them Lego Star Wars or?
The vast majority of them are, but I do got some Batman stuff. I got some Ninjago stuff. I just got some normal generic Lego City stuff.
Dude.
question.
I got a lot of stuff.
What do you got? Where you got,
Have you
Chief?
ever heard of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Man, I used to be obsessed with that joke in like 2022, but now we moved on from that.
Oh, Chiefy's behind the times. The tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Legend.
I love it. I love it. Do you have a favorite Lego set that comes to your mind when you think of that large bin of thousands of dollars?
I wouldn't say Lego set. That's a favorite. I mean, I got a lot of Lego sets I like, but I do have like a group of them that I do like.
Okay.
I think something that's I think I could say I do have a smaller group of favorite Lego minifigures.
Okay.
Though.
What are those?
Like, a lot of your like characters from the Clone Wars. They were like your troopers, your Jedi Masters, and whatnot. I like them. I also like the Ninjago stuff, but yeah.
Lloyd Garmadon.
Yeah,
that's the man.
I haven't watched Ninjago in like 4 years, but I'm gonna go back and watch them.
Dude,
as I tell myself that I probably never will.
When my brother, who most of our listeners will know, was late elementary school. That was all we watched together.
Me too.
Was Ninjago. So fond memories.
Lego Ninjago like kept me alive during quarantine.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. Yeah, a couple years ago, dude. Well, thank you, Lego Ninjago, for saving our friend that he may be on the podcast today. All right, man, sweet. That's a good little introduction. Now you guys know Jon, whether you wanted to or not. I'm just kidding. You all wanted to know my guy. We're going to cut to a quick break, just walking you through a couple of upcoming events, and then we're going to hop into that theological conversation. Here we go. What's up, Calvary Chapel Brandon Youth? Just wanted to give you a quick update on a couple of events that we have coming up. On Saturday, April 12th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., we are going to be having our Youth Park Day with a couple of other churches, but primarily hosted by Calvary Chapel Fellowship St. Pete. We're going to be heading out to Julianne B. Lane Park, which is out in the Seminole Heights area. We will definitely be carpooling, and if you need more information on that, hit up me or Ethan, but wanted to keep that in the loop on your radar as that is this upcoming Saturday, April 12th. So you definitely want to be there for that. Thanks. All right, we're back.
Boss Jon.
Yeah, Jon, he determined just after the intro he didn't want to be on the pot. No, he just needed to make a quick pit stop. Yeah, so we're going to, exactly, too much Ninjago. While we wait for him to get on back here, once again, so the topic for the day is Christianity from a Gen Z perspective.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the heart behind that? What is that?
Yeah, so twofold. As I'll say, like, the practical side behind this idea was I was thinking about Jon being our guest. We have not really extended much invitation to our youth students.
As of
yet. I definitely think that's going to be kind of the next phase of the podcast, especially as we get closer to the summer when our students are going to be a little bit more available for recording and times and things like that. But Jon was one of the first who volunteered and expressed any interest in trying to get on the podcast, particularly during the political season when we first started it. Praise the Lord, we just had Sam during that time. But so I was thinking about Jon, and we needed a guest for this week, and I was like, man, what could we talk about with him? And as we alluded to just a minute ago, here he comes on back. You're good. We're live, but you can just hop on in. As I thought about Jon, we just lost our shot. There it is. Okay, we're good.
He's got a magnetic force.
Yeah. It's just as he passed by the camera. No, as I thought about Jon, Chiefy asked me what was the heart behind this idea, and specifically why have we got you on today. So, as I was thinking about Jon, and not just his interest to be on the podcast, but his willingness, especially in light of our decreased viewership, and what specifically, he and I were texting earlier, and he actually, I'll just read it. I texted him, and I was like, I've got a few ideas for things that we could talk to you about on the podcast, but do you have anything specific that, like, comes to mind or something that's on your heart?
Yeah.
And he said maybe something related to patience / trusting in God's plan. And Jon, I'm going to be real with you. Like, even just reading that for me was like I really feel like the Lord is doing a work in Jon's heart. I think there's a time where to get a serious answer to a question like that would not have been, the first thing that would have come to your mind. And not to say that we don't want you to, be yourself and incorporate the humor and things like that. But it's been cool to just lately see that you've been meeting with Ethan a little bit more, that you, even in our small group times, have been sharing just about kind of how you're getting a little bit more serious about your faith. We're in the youth boys accountability devotional chat, and it's cool to see like some of the things that you've been sharing in there. And so I really thought it was a cool opportunity to both encourage you and acknowledge, like, we see what the Lord's doing in your life, and then also looking to you specifically, like, as I saw that text and as I thought about it, you're a junior, right, John, in high school? Yeah, so you're getting closer to that kind of end of the year determinations of, what's next year going to look like, where are my SAT scores at, where's my, AP classes and college pursuits, career, all of that. We were even talking a little bit about that the other day. And it just kind of hit me like, man, there's a great opportunity here for John to kind of give us some perspective, especially as ministers, on like
old people.
Yeah, as boomers. No, just kidding. You're technically the same generation as John.
They're silent generation.
Yeah, they're silent because they're gone. So, I'm technically millennial, but that, give us some perspective as a few years your senior to kind of like what things are like today. I feel like the other day you maybe gave me opinion on even Gen Alpha, right? Did you have something to say about them?
I don't remember exactly.
Do you have a strong opinion about Gen Alpha?
Gen Alpha is everyone thinks Gen Alpha is annoying, but they're probably like the way Gen Z was whenever they were. So let's be honest. Let's be honest.
I like
it's
that.
Generational. Gen Alpha, they are the first generation to be completely consumed in like brain rot or whatever. But like, I'm sure Gen Z has some stupid stuff that we did. I'm sure freaking millennials has some stupid stuff they did. I'm sure every generation and a generation upon generation, I'm pretty sure they did stupid stuff too. So like, whatever I feel about Gen Alpha, we were like them too. We are like them too. Yeah. So whether we like it or not,
you look back at boomers, and they had like the little spring shoes, that they used to walk around in the park with. Remember Back to the Future?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's just me.
Okay.
I remember those.
TV,
hold up.
you are
man.
from a different generation. But yeah, man, so that's kind of some of the heart is I feel like this could be a cool thing to hear John's perspective on. We talked a little bit last week about why we believe what we believe. I think this is almost like an extension of that. Like, why do you personally, John, but also in acknowledging some of the trends of the current culture and generation, like what's kind of different about Gen Z? Like what sets you guys apart? What's different about being a Christian in this era and at your age and your season of life than maybe what even we're experiencing in our ages and seasons or things like that? So, just I guess to that, John, like what is different about Gen Z in contrast to maybe other generation Christians? What are maybe some trends that you'd observe or things that personally like you pick up on?
If you take a look at like what Gen Z's about and like all the things that they're interested in, look, no matter if their interests are different, like I'm pretty sure like every generation has their own different thing about like what they like, what they do like, the things that they deal with. I'm sure like every generation has to go to have a job and do all this stuff. Mm-hmm. But whenever you're talking like the actual culture, you got to go like deeper than just like the different specific things that we're going through. You got to go deeper than that. Because if you think about it, like, look what age we're in compared to like 20, 30 years ago. Gen Z is the first generation to be like completely submerged in the internet, right?
Right.
And internet, it's a good thing. It's a tool if you use it properly, but it's also a way to like spread knowledge, spread this and that, and spread the gospel if there are people that are good enough to do that. And believe me, there are people who do spread the gospel on the internet, but there are people but the internet is also a tool like people all across the world. What also it does is also makes the internet also complicates a lot of culture, and you'll see a lot more of a uniform type thing on the internet where like a lot of people forget about something easily and then they'll move on to the next topic. You'll find more of a uniform mindset among some people. I can't say the same thing for everyone. I really cannot say the same thing for everyone. I just can't in good conscience. But you'll find I'm being too professional.
No, you're good.
You'll find that a lot of like what happens. You'll see uniformal shifts. But the internet is also something that can produce like it's also a lot easier to spread sinful acts too. Like you'll see people like you think gossiping like if you have like older demographics watching this, like you think gossiping was bad in like high school whenever you went to high school. Oh no, it's worse now. I can guarantee you. I've seen things in Twitter group chats and Discord chats and they know something. In Discord group chat or whatever it may be. I've seen things that are like 10,000 times worse than what you probably ever heard whenever you were in school. Like that's what I think it is. I mean, I think the internet is probably the biggest overall thing. It's like it's the biggest tool. You know what I'm trying to say? Like like Gen Z, their mindset, like they still have interest in different things, like and they'll still have their idols they look up to or this and that, like, but that's like any other generation. But the key difference is the internet and how it actually spreads. Right. How the culture actually spreads, how the culture actually works and it functions, and the mindset and whatnot. I think the internet is probably the answer. You should probably start looking.
Yeah. No, that's a really good observation, bro. So like when I think about that in contrast to like my personal like upbringing and stuff like that, like I can kind of remember like a desktop computer being like around the house growing up that was like I had like a Spy Kids video game that like I'd occasionally hop on that would crash like the moment you beat the first level. Like you drag the mouse and like whatever you had would just cover the whole like it was just this awful thing. It wasn't until probably like middle school for me, like late middle school, that like at school they were like, yeah, you could use like the internet to like try to research this, or in bad cases like peers cheat on this, like Quizlet. No, bro, I'm talking like this was like Internet Explorer, you know 8. Like
today they use ChatGPT,
right?
And they use like whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's where I say like I had like a taste of that in my upbringing, but just like you said, like Gen Z, Gen Alpha in particular, like kids are getting iPads at 2 years old. They're getting brought up in that digital, like vernacular and technological like use. And I guess like tying all this back to like the observations you made and just being a Christian. So like, would you say temptations are different? Would you say like, how does that kind of impact your faith perspective?
Okay, you want to go from the temptation angle? Like that is like the internet is quite possibly the single easiest way to spread temptations of all kinds of different things. And I'm not just talking about lust either. You're talking about temptation, like just like completely crash out on somebody, because I've seen people like
slander,
let their anger get the better of them. I've seen it brings out the worst in people. Like all over the board, whatever it may be, whatever bad aspect of their personality. It could be like lust, it could be anger, it could be lies and deception, all this crazy. And it brings out the worst in people. And let me tell you this, it could even bring out like the worst in two people who like completely agree on each other, right? Let me tell you a personal experience. Like this is something that's unique to me, right? I was on Twitter for a while. It's gone now. I don't have that account anymore. But like whenever I was on it, I was pretty into politics, right? And I still am, but like I'm not on Twitter. But like here's what happened. There was this election last year somewhere on the other side of the country. It has literally no impact on me. But there was this election. There was a candidate that I supported, right? And I liked, and I still do, by the way. And this other dude who agreed with me on like 95% on everything else did not like her. And we spent like the better part of 6 months like beefing over this person.
On internet.
On Twitter, yes.
Yeah.
We would go to Twitter Spaces and we would like beef over what's her face, Carrie Lake, and all that, and over how weak she was, how strong she was, whatever, this and that. And she ended up losing, unfortunately. He ended up winning the debate. Now, that's all behind me. Like I'm still a little upset about that result, but I'm trying to put it back behind me. But the point I'm trying to make here is that like internet culture, like what you believe about stuff, like especially whenever you don't know, like show people who you are over the internet, it also shows you that like this type of like culture shows like you could literally crash out on someone who agrees with you like 95% of the time. That's not good. Like even if you don't agree with them like any percent of the time, and you still I wouldn't like still crashing on them is like crazy. So
so what I'm hearing a lot of is I hear you talking about people's vices and also opportunities. I think technology almost kind of like Captain America, when he goes in the chamber, what becomes bad becomes worse, becomes good, becomes better.
Oh, dude, what a
It's
good
almost like the
illustration.
internet is it's an enhancing tool for either the vices that people have or
it's an enhancement tool.
or the things that are going well, things that they can be using to spread the good news or for the gospel of God or to teach the Bible. So I'm hearing a lot of like how that's heightened. Now, how has social media, how has like even AI, how's that played a role in your faith?
AI, I don't really play around with AI very much.
No ChatGPT. You're not a big ChatGPT guy.
Nah, not really.
I personally know Caleb gets all his sermons from ChatGPT. So I was
Every single one of them,
Nah.
baby. If it
You know
ain't
what,
broke,
it's
don't
so
fix
short.
it. That's
I'm
all
just
I'm saying.
But the thing is, I'm gonna go with social media. That's the one that really hits the spot, right?
yeah.
Social media, when it comes to like spreading faith, I mean, I found that like whenever I'm like in the middle of doing something and I find something that's like gospel related, it can really convict you if you're like made self-aware about what you're doing on the internet and you see something gospel related. And depending on the context of the situation, you can really be convicted. What they said about the internet being an enhancement tool, 100% accurate there. Let me tell you that, because like the conviction like might be 1,000 times worse over the 1,000 times more powerful. I meant over the internet because you know like other people in real life, they don't see what you're up to on the internet, but like you know exactly what you're up to. You know your heart better. Like conviction, like being called out for what you did for your sin, that is still very powerful. Let me tell you about this one guy, a Bible YouTuber, this dude named Realism, right?
Realism?
Yeah, I
Okay.
would scroll on like YouTube, and he would actually directly call out, like not people, but like he would directly call out behaviors that will lead to a weakening faith in God. Like he would also mention stop doom scrolling on the internet, like stop endlessly, mindlessly scrolling with no objective in mind. Like, and he also emphasized you got to focus on the gospel. And I also saw he did a video on like Jesus versus something related to do with internet culture, and this was his way of people, if they knew more about internet culture than Jesus, then this was his way of directly calling out these people and telling them that, hey, you need to put the phone down, you need to go read your Bible.
Interesting.
That's cool.
So I think I can actually say that has actually like given, I can actually say that's something that actually has applied to me.
Okay.
Because I've actually been a lot more convicted because I've seen videos of him like directly calling out behaviors like I've been doing on the internet. And believe me, I'm not proud of a lot of stuff I've done on the internet. I'm not. I really am not.
Nobody's perfect, but yeah, I think what's beautiful is seeing you see those things, see the word of God, and as Jesus says, apply that into your life and be changed and be set on the rock. I have a question. How has your friend group, your friendships, your relationships with people, both in and outside of Christianity, how has that been impacted by social media? Do you think that you're benefited by those the social media platforms, or do you think that it's more of a hindrance and it's more difficult for you to make friendships because I don't know, maybe it's easier access to people but not lasting friendships on there?
It's a mixed bag. It's like your Christianity, like my Christianity, like how people respond to it. It's a very mixed bag. Let me tell you that, and especially with social media playing into that. Let me tell you something. Like whenever I got into like my political area, I'm a very polarized person. Like I'll view things as like either this or either that, no in between. Like I'm a very like a black and white thinking person, and let me tell you that. Like whenever I'm in politics, I'm not gonna like say exactly what political party I am part of because I don't want the viewers to because that's not what this podcast is about anyways. It's about like us under God. That's the only party that is being discussed here. But
Amen. The Christian
basically,
party.
let's say party A. I'm part of party A, right? And I'm on the internet. I'm a black and white thinker. And then I'm saying, oh, party A is this, party A is good, this and that, and then party B is that way. I'll view this one as party A as like completely good and everything. This doesn't even have to apply to politics either. Like, it could also be like sports teams or any other type of like
music could be
that too, or any type of party on the internet too, like or any type of you know what I'm trying to say, group or any topic really, or a different fandom. It can apply to really anything. So you have party A, they say this is like you view this group as completely good, completely perfect, completely incapable of wrongdoing. You'll view party B as just this disgusting, vile, like there's no soul in them, like or whatever. And this actually rubs off on you in real life. Not just me, but like you. Like
Yeah.
whenever you view people in real life who are like support something that you don't like, and it's more polarized with internet culture and whatnot, you'll begin to see that like it's a lot harder to make friends with someone whenever you view them as being part of something that like that you view as evil, because it's not like it doesn't make you inseparable from someone, but you view it that way. You view something as, oh, I'm sorry, you're this or that, we can't be friends with each other. Like I think internet culture has really put the gasoline in the fire when it comes to that type of thing. So
Yeah, absolutely. There's like, I think a huge aspect of media in general is it plays on the desires of the viewers in order to get views. And
Right.
so like what generates views but stoking people's anger, stoking people's empathy, stoking people's laughter, those main things. And unfortunately, I think a lot in the media, it is very much one party opposing the other party. Let me tell you everything about this. And there's never anything in the middle.
Yeah.
There's never any conversation. Oh, what do if you're a Republican, what do the liberals think? If you're a liberal, what do the Republicans think? And those medias, it's just completely bashing each other, and it's not even a discussion anymore. It's really just a competition. So I really respect that a lot.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
John, as you're sharing, bro, I think kind of like an underlying thing I'm coming to is like the double-edged side to, I guess maybe a major difference of your culture in contrast to others being like access to information, right? Because that's what the internet is really providing you with, like access to information and a means of communicating information further or sharing it. And because of that, like the good that can come from that is like you learn more, you know more, you're more aware, you're able, like she was saying with, and you as well, with like tools of the gospel to share, to communicate with people who you might not otherwise interact with. There is platforms and forums for sharing thoughts and debating and, offering opinions, once again, to people that you might not otherwise be able to, or might even publicly fear to for, concern or stress for how they might respond or your ability to communicate. Sometimes it's easier to write things. So all of that being like maybe a positive, but then the challenges of that being, I jotted a few things down as you wrote, like temptation, right, to accessing things that you should not or should not know about, should not be aware of, barriers to engagement and communication in like positive ways because people are willing to say things on the internet that they would never otherwise say in person, kind of isolation because it's really a substitute for actual engagement because it's you and a computer versus like we were created for that like more direct engagement, I would argue, and really like what I'm getting at like with all of that is like this access to information gives both takes, but there's much less, at least traditional, like authenticity in interaction than there was before. And I think that for good or for bad, right? Because maybe authenticity is changing and growing, and you can be sincere over the internet as well. But like your culture just has a completely different idea of what engagement with each other looks like than I would argue like every preceding generation. Like you picking up on similar things, yeah? Any comments? Any thoughts?
No, I think I think you like said it completely. I think you said it completely right there.
Okay. Yeah. So with all of that in mind and kind of summarizing that thought, like what do you think of I guess current approaches to faith, to Christianity, that can help supply what you're looking for, right? Because we know it's Jesus. We know Jesus is the answer. But even the way that we communicate him, the way that we share him, and the way that we as a community, as a church, like engage with him, like what from your perspective do you think your generation is looking for? What would you say are things that work, don't work? Like just curious,
and adding on to that thought real quick,
it's
like I think the church can go like one of two ways. We can either go like full-fledged and try to sell the gospel and make it super attractive to this generation, with all these different, social media platforms and, this and that and putting Jesus' name in lights. Or, we could be like, pretending that nothing exists and like hiding it away and saying, oh no, you just read your Bible. Well, you can't even use your Bible app or anything like that. I think there's a middle ground in that place where we can meet the world where it is with the resources. And I think what Caleb's asking is, what do you think are those resources that would really help your generation?
Yeah.
Between advertising Jesus with flashy signs and making it look pretty versus like being super strict, I think neither of those are the perfect solution. What you said about a middle ground, like what you have to do is you can't make it look pretty because I've seen a lot of churches, they've tried to go out there, they'll try to do this or that, and they'll also try to interpret doctrine in a way that's just not biblically accurate. Like you have to keep the truth 100%. You cannot go away from the truth. So we're going into that with this understanding. You cannot strive away from the truth no matter what happens. And even with internet culture, all of that, I feel like there's still, like, even with all the internet culture that's going on, all that, I know that's a lot of different stuff, but I think the way that people, like, the way that Christianity is spread, I think I don't think there's any difference. I think what you got to do is you got to go in there. The Bible tells us to gently convict people. I think we still need to keep that same attitude because it's literally in the Bible. It says to gently convict people, and it says to be slow to anger. It says to be slow to speak. You got to keep that same principle no matter what generation you're trying to appeal to with the Bible.
Yeah.
So let's keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's so.
Yeah.
I think it's actually in the Bible.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I love that.
It's unchanging. Absolutely. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what I was hoping you would say is like I feel like you guys are, in light of like, because so Chief, you brought this up a little bit, like the internet, as much as it is a tool, access to information, things like that, like everything on the internet is currently designed for monetization, right?
For making money.
Ads, exactly. The way algorithms work, the way content pops up on your feed, in social media, the way even like browsers are designed, and even like other things, AI, all of that is designed to like commercially get you places where you're going to spend money and or see things that are going to make you spend money and further support business, right? Your information is currency. And I think for Jon, like for you having grown up in that culture, being so overly exposed to so much of that from such an early age, like your generation is very, very savvy on I'm getting baited,
Clickbait.
That's you're
yeah, and like discerning on like I was walking my brother through a situation we had here that like within 5 seconds of me telling the story, he was like, "That was a scam," and I'm like, "It was. That was the punchline. That like that's what I was building into," and I was feeling so clever because I found that out 30 seconds after you did, and I thought it was quick, And this is where I say like you guys are able to weed through the noise because from day one you've been pitched this stuff, and whether it's TikTok, whether it's Reels or the platform that is now called X, Twitter. I'm like, why am I blanking so hard? Whether it's Twitter, tweets, like whatever, like you guys are pretty solid in most cases at being like, my reaction and my engagement with this is something that others are using to further their agenda, prosper their gain. Far more discerning than for sure like boomers who are getting scammed every day into my Amazon account got hacked, and and even like my mom sent us like a thing the other day in our group chat that like I received this text about not having paid like my water bill or something, and my brother was like, don't even click on that kind of stuff, like just there's this discernment because you guys have been fed these gimmicks, these scams, these all these things for so long. And that's where, like, to what you just said, man, like there is an openness and desire for just like straight up truth, and I think, like you said, Chiefy, like we don't need to pitch the gospel like a salesman, because this generation is going to pick up on that and be like, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, like I'm not going to engage with that in that fashion. on the flip side, you also don't love tradition. Is that fair to say?
Very fair to say.
Right, right. You're looking for something new. You're looking for something that doesn't feel old. You know, like, yeah. Am I putting words in your mouth? I don't want to totally assume.
Oh no, you're completely right. I'm just thinking about like how that actually played out. I mean, I've seen a lot of internet culture. I mean, I feel like internet culture has actually pushed a lot of the making fun of the old stuff. I think that's like really what's pushing people away from the gospel. I think like part of the counterculture. I mean, look, I'm not even gonna say it's just the internet, because counterculture has been a thing for quite a long time. And you have the people of today, then you have the hippies in the 1960s, 1970s. They were all about counterculture. You had counterculture people in the early 1900s when it came to communism. Counterculture is everywhere in history. Let me just tell you that right now. So it's not even just a one generational thing, but the internet has definitely pushed it's definitely played a role. I will say that.
Yeah. So coming back to like you in this place in your faith, like, would you say that like sincerity and authenticity and like boldness with the truth has been something that's been appealing for you, in, I guess, kind of like in a fresh way committing to your faith? Like, or do you feel like being more spoon-fed is kind of helpful depending upon the season? Like, I'm just curious, like, you're undergoing a change, you know, in how seriously you're taking your faith, and I'm just curious what's prompted that, you know?
Look, whenever you're trying to be serious about something, like, I don't think spoon-fed is going to work whether or not you're already a Christian. Because, first of all, like, if you're, like, what you said about, like, Gen Z people, like not buying, or counter-culture people in general just not buying, or anyone in general for not buying, like, fake stuff, I mean, that's also what you said about that is true. But whenever you're a Christian, you know you got to take something seriously. You already know that being spoon-fed the gospel is not going to work, because you've seen the gospel, you've seen how it convicts people, you've seen how it convicts you, and you see what it says. And anything to water it down, that's just like, that could be considered under the right context or wrong context, depending on how you take it. Yeah, it could be considered a race in the gospel even. I mean, you cannot just spoon feed people the truth. You just can't do that. That's not going to work. That's not how God intended.
I have a question, John. What prompted you to get serious about your faith?
Now, this is a little bit personal.
Oh.
But we're going to have to go back in 2023, right?
Okay.
Now, this was at a summer camp, right? And then, right, we were at the camp, and me and like two other dudes like to pull pranks on people. I'm not going to go into complete detail. I'm just going to go over like what happened. So one prank went wrong. I thought we knew we went too far, and we apologized. And I thought I was cooked. Like, I thought everyone would just like, because I thought like I actually thought in that moment that like no one would like me anymore. And I literally asked Carol, the who found out about it. I asked her if so we screwed up. We screwed up. We probably shouldn't have done this. And then we resolved it. And I was like, am I still friends with everyone? And she said, of course. And then she said, look, the blood of Jesus has washed everyone clean. It was something along those lines. I don't exactly remember what she said.
Wow. And
then there was later in the night, one of my friends, he got scared because I can't reveal it. I'm not gonna reveal that. He told me not to reveal it. I'm not gonna say it's serious.
Yeah, that's cool.
I can't say.
Yeah, you're good.
Basically, I'm gonna fast forward a few hours later after all that happened, right? Chiefy and I, Ethan, we had a conversation. And me and one of the other dudes, and he was asking us, like, do you know what it really means to be saved? That's what he started asking. Do you know what it really means to be saved? And he said, it wasn't by anything you can do or anything that you can't do, but what Jesus Christ has already done. Yeah. That's the moment. Because I knew, like, I'm always been a perfectionist, and I've always still, and I'm still a perfectionist, and I probably will be a perfectionist in some way, shape, or form, depending on like how I just go about in life, I suppose. But that's the big thing that you got to remember. Like, you can't like go to heaven or be saved or this or that by something you because Jesus himself said that if you break one of my laws, one of my commandments, you've broken the whole thing. You screwed up, and we've already broken the law at some point in our lives. So there's nothing we can do about it, because we are going to continue sinning as we go through our life. So that is a guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but Jesus Christ died on that cross in John chapter 3, verse 16. For God loved the world so much that he sent his one and only Son, so that he who believes in him shall not die but have eternal life.
Mm-hmm.
That's my whole favorite verse in the whole Bible right there.
That's beautiful. So, I mean, that sounds like the truth.
Yeah.
Praise God.
It's truth.
I did not know that.
It's authenticity, and it's meeting you where you're at, right? Like,
I didn't know that.
In a culture of such severe isolation and digital remedy and that being engagement, what you just described was real, authentic relationship, practical application of truth. And in contrast to what we described a second ago, like being spoon-fed something as though someone knows something more than you and is just giving you like little pieces of it, like, here's what this really looks like as I live out my life, and you experiencing that and seeing that. Fair to say, like, that's what you're saying is like brought you into a deeper understanding of it. Feeling that love and forgiveness that is true to Christ and clearly showed in his word, but then lived out in those who are following him, like that's kind of what you just described, which is powerful. So not spoon feeding, but like living it out in a way that is palatable, like.
It's also not about like forcing it down people's like throats either. Like, that's not gonna work either. Like what you said about like people actually living it out, and people actually being blessed, and people are gonna see that, and they're gonna see, wow, this person's telling the truth. This person is right.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, John.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
That's so beautiful.
All right, well, I think that's probably a good transition point. John, it's good to hear from you. It's good to see what the Lord's doing, and very affirming, I don't know, to see how even stuff we're not aware of, like the Lord's doing his thing, but to know that already is helpful to me as we continue to minister to Gen Z, as we continue to work with guys like yourself, like knowing these challenges, knowing these struggles, and knowing in the midst of that what you're looking for, and how just by following Jesus personally, I can, and we can, and others can help the truth we tell you about connect. It's not just about giving you a spoonful of sugar to let the truth go down. It's
The truth.
I'm going to just tell you what it is, and I'm going to live it out, and that will be what you consume, what you receive,
Authenticity.
Authenticity.
Authenticity in the midst of
A fake generation, a fake world.
Wow.
wow, yeah.
Phew, I love that. All right, man. That's good. We're going to cut to one other break, and then we have a fun new game to play with you guys. Thanks, John, already.
Lord have mercy.
One other quick announcement for you. Coming up at the end of the month, we have our Called Higher Choir, where we will be meeting on April 26th and 27th at Calvary Chapel Fellowship out in St. Pete. We're going to meet at the church on that Saturday, April 26th at 1 p.m. to carpool so that we can be on the road by 1:30 and at CCF when they need us. And then we plan to get some lunch and be back for pickup here at the church at 1 p.m. on Sunday. You're going to need the basic overnight equipment, pajamas, sleeping bag, pillow. You can bring an air mattress, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, all those good things. And if you have further questions, hit up either me or Ethan, and we can point you in the right direction. Peace.
Nah, they're different. No, either that or maybe a clone trooper or somewhere in between.
Sorry, did you just ask him what animal he would be, and he said a Clone Wars battle
He
droid?
didn't say animate. No, he said animated.
I said if you were an animated character.
Oh, I
from a
thought you said
movie.
an animal, and he's like, I would be a
Be a
Clone
droid.
Wars battle droid. It's like, what are you talking about?
I think take this the right way. I think you would be the donkey from Shrek.
The donkey from Shrek.
That's crazy.
Because of
I
how
think
funny
you would be, John. Roger. Those guys are always
I
like,
think he would be Darth
wow.
Plagueis the Wise.
Darth Plagueis the Wise. All right, here we go. Here's the real game. We're just trolling around. All right, we're playing a word association game. Some of you have probably seen it. There are board game parodies of this too, but I found a loose concept that I'm going to now take to, as always, on the CCB Youth the House podcast, a Bible edition format. So word association Bible edition. We're going to do pairs. We're going to start with these two. Then we'll do me and John. Then we'll do me and Ethan. So 3 rounds. 2 parties are going to say a word at the same time. We'd go 3, 2, 1, boom. Ideally, the word you say will be oriented toward a biblical idea or a narrative. And then you'll pause, reflect on the fact, ideally, that the first one you said were different words. And then you'll say another word. And the goal is you're trying to connect the 2 words that were just said to get you to say the same word. Okay. The round ends when you say the same word. And we'll go, I'd say max, we'll probably go like 5 attempts before we just say like that's max.
And like the amount of attempts determines how many points you get?
No, you just get a point if you successfully, I see what you're saying.
Get it in 5?
Yeah, you're trying to go less than 5. And yeah, we'll figure out points after that. I'm curious based off how we were.
I mean, 5 is fair. I think we could, like, it'll get some and some we won't.
Yeah. So we'll say you start with 5 points if you nail it that first time.
That's a
4,
good idea.
3, 2, 1, and then you get none and we're done.
What if we right off the bat just say the same word?
That 5 points. Boom. That'd be crazy.
Then the first guess is automatically 4.
So the first word you say, you're at 5. You'll say a second word. If you get it right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So 5, exactly. You're more than likely, even at best, going to only get 4 points, but we'll see. So as an example, right, let's say I did 3, 2, 1. John says faith, and Ethan says David, right? That's actually so
Ethan.
Right. And then you're like, okay, faith and David. What might connect those two? So John says sling, right? David and faith. When did David have to step out? Oh yeah, when he and yes, Ethan says stone, right? Oh, we're getting warmer. Like we're getting right. We're getting warmer. So what then would connect sling and stone? You guys could say something like Goliath.
Jesus.
Right? Oh man, Jesus. Right. This is where exactly. It's probably gonna take more than 5. I'm not gonna lie to you, but maybe you guys happen to stumble on the same idea as you try to connect these things, and yeah, we'll base points off of that. So, all right, here we go. You guys ready?
All right, hold on.
So once again, ideally oriented toward a biblical idea, but I mean, truly, like the Bible's full of stuff. It could be anything: action, person, place, thing, whatever. You guys got a word in mind?
Yes.
Remember, you're already trying to think, like, what could the other person be thinking about? So don't use any of the things that we've already said, but you get the idea? Okay. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Garden.
Moses and garden. Pause for a second. Think about it. Moses, garden. What word would connect Moses and garden? Moses, garden. All right, do we got something? Here we go. First thing that comes to mind that you think the other might think of. Moses and garden, what connects them? 3, 2, 1.
Staff.
I'm cooked.
All right, let's do this. We'll use one of your previous ones. So you use the same word. You got, what did you say the first time? Garden?
Yeah.
So garden, and what did you say now? What did you just say?
Staff.
Okay, here you go. Now we keep going. Garden and staff. Okay, think about it.
All right.
I want to make sure you guys have a word before I do it this time.
something.
You guys got a word? Garden and staff. And staff. 3, 2, 1.
Serpent.
Oh.
Serpent. Tree. Okay, here we go. Serpent and tree. You guys got a word in mind?
Mm-hmm.
Serpent and tree. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
The tree of knowledge, good and evil.
One word. I thought the same thing, John.
Fruit.
No.
I changed my mind.
So you said it was serpent and tree. We'll just say.
fruit's a good idea.
We'll just say you did knowledge. So knowledge and fruit. This is your last shot. Knowledge and fruit. You got a word together?
One word?
Knowledge and fruit. One word that tethers the two together.
Okay, I got something.
Knowledge and fruit. Knowledge and fruit. You ready, John?
I'm gonna screw this up.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Steve.
Oh.
Close.
I screwed it up.
Oh,
We were
no,
close.
you guys were close. All right, so We'll give it
Moses and garden, man, that was tough.
That was.
I should
John-
have said Adam
John.
or something like
John
that.
and Chiefy
Got one
got
or 0.
0 points.
Yeah, we
Yes.
suck. we have
Alright.
them. Yeah.
It's okay, I
Chiefy.
don't know how to spell my name.
All
either.
right, let's do. Yeah, I misspelled John too. All right, John and Caleb. All right, here we go. John, you ready?
All right.
All right, so we're just straight from scratch.
I'll
Chiefy's
do
gonna
the
count it
countdown.
down.
Ready?
Hold on. I don't have a word yet.
Think about it.
Okay, I got it. You ready, John?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Lion. What did you say?
I said bread.
Bread and
You said
lion. Bread and lion. Okay, you ready?
You got it?
You got something in mind? Okay, bread and lion.
3, 2, 1.
Jesus. Yeah!
What?
Let's go!
Oh my gosh.
Killing it, John.
That's what, 3 points?
So, yeah, that was the second one, right? So,
Yep. The second one.
you're right.
Red and lion. Yeah, that's the same. So 4.
Yeah, dang, wow.
Dang.
All right, let's go, John.
Are you kidding me?
All right, now
Red
we
and
do.
lion? Okay.
All right, now we do me and
Can we just
Chiefy.
always end with Jesus? That would work.
That would definitely work.
I know you could go there. I'm gonna intentionally try not to, so keep that in mind, Chiefy, as we.
Watch it just end up. Watch it end up as Jesus, anyways.
Chippy,
That's
say
all.
Oh
what
my
you said before.
I can't
How
tell
many
you.
licks would we get to the center?
All right,
Chippy.
all right.
They all spell
all right.
worse than me when trying to type
So
up
it's
in
you and me
English.
now,
Just say
right?
the last moment.
Yeah, me and Chiefy. John's gonna count us
Alright.
down.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, this is not good.
Oh boy.
Let's.
I gotta
see.
make this
I
easy,
don't
right?
even have a good word.
I have good words,
Alright.
but they're difficult.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Donkey.
One. I didn't finish.
What did
One
you
and
say?
a
I
half.
I said wilderness.
Oh, I
just
said
kidding.
donkey.
Oh,
Wilderness
okay.
and donkey. Okay.
Okay.
Donkey and
I'm
wilderness.
gonna go serious this time.
Okay, I got it.
Hold on. I'm not ready. Donkey and wilderness. Okay, I
Mhm.
think I'm ready. Okay, you ready?
Okay, I'm gonna go serious this time. I was just messing around with the last count, but this time I'm gonna go serious. 3, 2, 1.
Balaam.
Oh, come on, let's go! All right, you're just the smart, the smart one that gets it all.
Okay, let's try you two one more just for kicks, and then we'll
Okay,
call it a
let's
day
do
because
this.
it's not even 6 yet. We're killing it.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Animal.
I'm sorry, I was thinking of my victory. I totally forgot about doing this.
You said. I wish I could like pull up the file for just that mic because it would be so funny to hear whatever noise just came out of your mouth.
I was like, oh shoot, I need a word.
All right, hold on. You guys both got words? Think of new words. Think
Okay,
of new
okay,
words. Oh my goodness.
okay. Okay, got it.
You got a word, John? A new word? All right. 3, 2, 1.
Water.
Desert.
Oh!
About as
the
different as
polar
you
opposites.
get.
Water, desert.
Okay,
Water,
something.
desert. You got something? You got something?
Mhm.
All right.
'Kay.
3, 2, 1.
Well.
Thirst.
Well
Oh.
and thirst. Well and thirst. All right. Start thinking.
Well and thirst.
Well and thirst. Well and thirst. All right. You guys got something? John's got something. Chiefy, you got one? Got it. Make a call. Make a call.
Okay.
Well and thirst. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Drink.
Jesus.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Jesus.
no,
All right. Jesus and drink. Here we go. Jesus and drink. Jesus and drink. A word that Unite says too. Jesus and drink.
Oh
Jesus
boy,
and
I'm
drink.
getting flashbacks.
It can't be a word you previously
From
used.
what?
I don't even know. Okay, here you go. You ready?
Yeah, okay.
Jesus and drink.
I got an idea.
3, 2, 1.
Wine.
Yeah! Let's go! I wish
Yeah.
I'd have said it with you guys because I had it too. That's
Oh,
awesome.
man.
I love it. All right, fun game. Thanks for tuning in. I don't even know like how to determine. It's like me and John got 4 points, but then me and Chiefy also got 4
We're
points.
all winners.
Yeah, we're all winners. I don't know how you determine that. We should have done.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's pretty much you because you.
I just was
got
the
the
common
most
denominator.
overall.
I'll take it. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. And hey, if you want to be a guest, come talk to us. Maybe we can figure out a future episode. Otherwise, thanks for John for being on the show.
Thank you, sir.
All the love, CCB Youth. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Goodbye.